In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He spoke light into the darkness, separated the waters from the dry land, filled the skies with stars and the earth with life. Then, on the sixth day, the Lord God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and every living thing that moves upon the earth." So God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. God planted a garden in the east, in Eden, filled with trees that were pleasant to the eye and good for food. And in the middle of the garden, he placed the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The Lord took the man and put him in the garden to work it and keep it. And God commanded the man, saying, "You may freely eat from every tree in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day you eat of it, you shall surely die." Then the Lord God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." So God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. He took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Then the Lord fashioned the rib into a woman and brought her to the man. When Adam saw her, he said with joy, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." The man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed. And so they lived in the beauty of Eden, walking with God in the cool of the day. The rivers sparkled with life. The trees bore fruit in abundance, and every creature moved in harmony. There was no pain, no fear, no death, only peace, purpose, and love. But in the garden was a serpent, more cunning than any beast the Lord God had made. And the serpent said to the woman, "Did God really say, 'You shall not eat from any tree in the garden'?" The woman replied,
"We may eat from the trees of the garden, but from the tree in the midst of the garden, God said, 'You shall not eat it, nor touch it, lest you die.'"
Then the serpent said, "You will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The woman looked at the tree. It was beautiful to the eyes and desirable to make one wise. She reached out, took its fruit, and ate. She gave also to her husband who was with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. As the evening breeze stirred the garden, they heard the sound of the Lord God walking among the trees. And the man and his wife hid themselves from his presence. The Lord called out, "Adam, where are you?" Adam answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat?" The man replied, "The woman you gave to be with me, she gave me the fruit, and I ate." Then the Lord said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" She said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." And the Lord said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all creatures. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. He shall crush your head, and you shall strike his heel." To the woman he said, "I will greatly increase your pain in childbirth. In pain you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." And to Adam he said, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife and eaten from the tree of which I commanded you, cursed is the ground for your sake. Through painful toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall produce, and by the sweat of your face you shall eat bread until you return to the ground. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return." Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all living. And though they had sinned, the Lord God showed mercy. He made garments of animal skins and clothed them, a covering of grace. Then the Lord said, "The man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Now, lest he reach out and take from the tree of life and live forever." The Lord sent them out of the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which they had been taken. At the east of the garden, God placed cherubim and a flaming sword that turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. And so Adam and Eve left paradise, carrying the weight of loss, yet the seed of promise. Through them came all humanity, and through their descendant one day would come the one who would crush the serpent's head and open the way back to life. Adam lived with Eve, both of them loving and doting on each other for many years, until his death at 930 years old. They were parents to Cain, Abel, Seth, and others. Their story is ours, of creation and choice, of sin and grace, of a God who still walks among his children, calling, "Where are you?"